For decades, the Bermuda Triangle has captured the world's imagination, a place of dark legends, a watery graveyard, a stretch of ocean where logic seems to fail and myths come alive. It lies quietly in the Atlantic, an expanse of blue between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, a place where calm, tropical waters can turn violent without warning, where the sky itself seems to conspire against those who pass through, and where hundreds of ships and planes carrying thousands of souls have vanished, often without a trace. Some say it's just a legend, a collection of coincidences, a story made up to sell books and stir curiosity. Others, those who have sailed its waters and flown its skies, insist something truly strange happens there, something beyond science, beyond reason. Whatever the truth is, the Bermuda Triangle remains one of the greatest and most unsettling unsolved mysteries on Earth. Pause. The story that burned the triangle into public consciousness begins in December 1945. It was a clear afternoon. 5 U.S. Navy bombers, TBM Avengers, designated Flight 19, took off from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, on a routine training flight. The weather was perfect. The pilots were experienced. Their leader, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, knew these waters well. But a few hours later, confusion, then silence. All contact was lost. The control tower strained to hear their transmissions. Radio signals became distorted, filled with static, and their voices filled with growing panic. "Both my compasses are out," Taylor reported. "I'm trying to find Fort Lauderdale. I'm overland, but it's broken." He was lost. The last transmission from the flight leader said, "We can't tell where we are. Everything looks wrong, strange." One pilot was reportedly heard saying, "It looks like we're entering whitewater. We're completely lost." Then, nothing. A rescue plane was sent out immediately. A PBM Martin Mariner flying boat carrying a crew of 13. But it too disappeared. It vanished into thin air just 20 minutes after takeoff. No wreckage, no oil slick, no bodies ever found. 6 aircraft, 27 men, gone in a single afternoon. Newspapers soon called it the Devil's Triangle. And since that day, the legend has only grown, low tone. But the mystery didn't start there. The sea holds older, deeper secrets. Long before Flight 19, there was the case of the USS Cyclops. Not a small plane, but a massive naval collier ship, over 540 feet long, carrying over 300 men and a heavy cargo of manganese ore. In March 1918, during the height of World War I, it simply vanished while sailing through the triangle. No distress signal, no mayday, no wreckage, just silence. It remains the single largest loss of life in U.S. naval history outside of direct combat. Even today, no one knows what happened. Throughout the 20th century, reports poured in. Planes disappearing mid-air, ships found drifting with no crew, ghost ships, and pilots describing strange clouds, glowing lights, and electronic fog. Perhaps the most chilling is the tale of the Ellen Austin in 1881. She encountered another ship, a derelict, sailing aimlessly. A crew was sent aboard to salvage it. Then a storm hit, separating the ships. When the Ellen Austin found the derelict again days later, its prize crew was gone, vanished. The captain, terrified, abandoned the ship, letting it drift back into the mystery. One pilot, years later, said his instrument started spinning uncontrollably. The sea below turned a milky, glowing green, and time itself seemed to slow down. Another claimed his plane lost all power, all electronics, for 3 agonizing minutes. Then suddenly, everything returned to normal, as if nothing had happened. Were these hallucinations, equipment failure, or something else entirely? Pause. Scientists have spent decades trying to put the ghosts to rest, to explain the unexplainable. One of the most popular theories involves methane gas. Geologists know that massive pockets of flammable methane gas are buried deep beneath the ocean floor. If one of these pockets were to erupt, it would release countless bubbles, rising to the surface. This creates what's known as the champagne effect, massively reducing the density of the water. A ship caught in one of these eruptions could lose all buoyancy instantly and sink straight down, pulled to the bottom in seconds, leaving no trace. This could also, potentially, stall a low-flying aircraft's engines. Another explanation points to magnetic anomalies. The Bermuda Triangle is one of only 2 places on Earth where a compass points directly to true north instead of magnetic north. This is called an agonic line for early navigators before GPS. That small critical difference, that failure to account for magnetic variation, could throw navigation off by hundreds of miles. A ship believing it was safe could be led straight into shallow reefs or violent storms. Combine that with sudden, localized waterspouts, the immense power of the Gulf Stream, a river within the ocean that can move wreckage at 4 miles per hour, and the unpredictable nature of the sea, and disaster becomes almost inevitable. Pause. Still, science doesn't explain everything. It doesn't explain the sudden, total failure of all communication systems at once. It doesn't explain why radar signals vanish in clear skies. It doesn't explain the Ellen Austin's missing crew. It doesn't explain Flight 19 pilots trained to read the sun becoming utterly, hopelessly lost on a clear day. These unanswered questions gave rise to even wilder ideas. Some say the triangle is a gateway, a dimensional portal, a doorway to another dimension, that the unique magnetic fields in the area, under the right conditions, open temporary rifts in space and time, pulling ships and planes into another realm. Others believe it's linked to extraterrestrial activity, that UFOs or USOS, unidentified submerged objects, use the deep trenches of the region as a base, and that our technology interferes with theirs. Witness reports of luminous silent craft slipping beneath the waves are surprisingly common. And then there's the theory of Atlantis. In the 1960s, author Charles Berlitz popularized the idea that the lost city of Atlantis lies beneath the triangle. He pointed to the Bimini Road, a strange underwater rock formation that looks man-made. He believed that advanced Atlantean technology, ancient energy crystals still active under the seabed, interferes with modern navigation and electronics, luring vessels to their doom. Most scientists dismissed his ideas, but the public couldn't get enough. Aliens, Atlantis, energy fields, each theory added another layer to the legend. Pause. Today, modern research offers new and perhaps more terrifying insights. Satellite images show that this region has some of the most violent and unpredictable weather patterns on Earth. Sudden microbursts, downward blasts of air reaching 170 miles per hour, can hit the ocean like invisible hammers, powerful enough to tear the wings off an aircraft or capsize a massive ship in seconds. Researchers have even spotted strange hexagonal clouds over the region, a rare formation that indicates extreme focused wind turbulence. These air bombs can create rogue waves, not tsunamis, but colossal vertical walls of water, rising 100 feet or more, forming and disappearing with terrifying speed. A rogue wave can snap a supertanker in two and leave no evidence behind. So maybe what we call mystery is really just nature at its most powerful and most unpredictable. Low tone. Still, even now, in an age of satellites and GPS and constant connection, the Bermuda Triangle refuses to give up all its secrets. Planes still vanish without distress calls. Black boxes are found blank, or never found at all. And every few years, another tragedy, another headline, reminds us how fragile our control over nature truly is. Maybe the triangle isn't cursed. Maybe it's not a portal or a hiding place for aliens or Atlanteans. Maybe it's something simpler and something far more profound, a mirror that reflects humanity's oldest fear, the fear of the unknown, the fear of the deep, because deep down we are drawn to mysteries. We need them. They are the blank spaces on the map, the darkness just beyond the campfire. They remind us that no matter how smart we become, no matter how much we map and chart and explain, there are still places that defy our understanding. And so, the Bermuda Triangle remains what it has always been, a symbol of curiosity, fear, and wonder, a place where fact and legend intertwine, where the line between truth and imagination blurs, and every wave hides a question without an answer. So next time you fly over the Atlantic or look out over the ocean and your instruments flicker for just a second, pause, look out at the endless crushing blue beneath you, and remember, some mysteries are meant to remain